Last Rodeo is another movie that shows that Neil McDonough does not get the praise that he ultimately deserves. Facing adversity at home, Neil McDonough's character takes on this role as a bull rider, which he was, and returns in order to help his grandson and his daughter. Now, as you watch this movie, you really start to think about all the roles that he has taken up within the past few years and how they all kind of prepare him for this. And with Angel Studios, they do a good job of providing feel-good movies. And I think for people that want a change of pace from the bigger movies, this is a company that will put out that heartfelt type of film for you to enjoy. But The Last Rodeo is a movie right up my alley. I love bull riding. I like movies that are based on kind of westerns. I still find myself watching old westerns from time to time. But this movie is really good. That's as simple as it can be. When you sit down and watch, you're going to see the real bond and connection between the father, his grandson, his daughter, and really the need in how driven he is to rejoin the PBR. Now, as somebody older in the sport, he understands that it's going to be a challenge. And you see that portrayed on screen with his interactions with the younger riders. You see it with his interaction with even his own family that seem to question why he is doing this. Now, what I was really surprised about when it came to this movie was how packed it was for being a smaller independent movie. It was really hard to find a seat. There were a lot of people there to watch it because a lot of people are a fan of Neil McDonough and what he represents. He has turned down bigger roles for his own personal beliefs, and that's something that is very commendable. But now let's look at the pros and the cons of this movie. Number one, I think if you are a fan of bull riding or like movies that are based on that or shows, you're going to find some enjoyment out of it. Obviously, with it being a movie, it's going to take the creative liberty and add things to it that may be a little bit different. And so I think, in a sense, if you're looking for it to be completely realistic, that's not going to be the case. Number two, I think the overall story within the movie makes sense. It's something that's easy to follow. It's something that you can get behind. And you see kind of the direction that they're going in, but it still leaves you wanting more. You're trying to understand exactly what's going to happen, understand what the possible outcomes will be. And I think The Last Rodeo does provide that when it comes down to the final credit. And the third thing, I've said characters in many movies before, but I think with this, you're really going to have, I think the focus that I really want to point on this is the dialogue between characters. I think when you have a movie that is like this, focused on bull riding and the dangers, I think the dialogue is key. And that's where I mentioned earlier the dialogue between the bull riders and Neil McDonough, but you're also looking at it with the family. It's something that a lot of families can even relate to, where you have to make decisions that may not be the best, but they have to be done in order to protect someone, provide something, whatever the case may be. Now let's look at the cons. I think the one thing that really stands out with The Last Rodeo for me is a 2-hour runtime. I feel that there are some aspects of this movie that could have been a little bit more condensed, and it would have made the story even more effective. Now, I'm not saying a 2-hour runtime is a terrible thing. I just feel that in this sense, it could have been cut down a little bit more. I also want to look at the realistic aspect of it. Now, it's a movie. It's not going to be directly driven by what you will see if you turn on a TV. But I felt like in some senses it was overdone. And what I mean by that is it gave you this too animated of a situation where what you see on screen may not necessarily be what is taking place in a real rodeo. But as far as a story overall, I think this is a movie that is a go see. I think you're going to enjoy it. I do respect that Maya Regal's actually giving it a good amount of time as a movie, because Movies that are usually done by Angel Studios don't get as much time in our theater, but I'm glad to see that that is not the case this weekend. So overall rating, for me, The Last Rodeo is about a 4.1 out of 5. It is a fun movie. It's enjoyable. It's worth a watch. I think with every movie, you're going to find little imperfections, but it doesn't take away from how good the movie is. So The Last Rodeo is out in theaters now. Make sure to go check it out while it is there. Thank you all for the continued support. Make sure to hit the subscribe button as we approach 600. Make sure to go check out the other reviews I have posted, and I will talk to you all later.